You probably think you're a dream guest. Polite, neat, even leave a little tip on the pillow. But what if I told you your cabin steward is secretly rolling their eyes because you've been doing half a dozen things that drive them absolutely nuts? From mystery towel crimes to a red wine disaster that made 3 cabins smell like regret, this is the video every cruiser needs to see before they accidentally become that passenger. Because cabin stewards, they've got a list. A silent, sacred list of things passengers keep doing that make their job way harder. And today, we're reading it out loud. So if you want to cruise smarter, be the steward's favorite, and avoid awkward surprises on your next trip, stick around. Starting with a tiny mistake that's more common than seasickness, but way more frustrating for the crew. You leave your cabin for a fun day ashore, and just to be safe, hang that cute little "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door. You think, if I come back early, I don't want anyone barging in. Hours later, you return and nothing's changed. Bed still unmade, trash still there, towels still damp. You're confused. Did they forget my room? Nope, you told them to stay out. On a cruise ship, that sign isn't a suggestion, it's law. Stewards aren't allowed to enter your room with that sign up, even if they saw you leave. To them, it says danger zone, do not cross. So if you actually want your room cleaned, flip that sign before you head out. Your cabin and your steward will thank you. Cruise ship toilets aren't like the ones at home. They're powered by vacuum, super strong, super sensitive. They're built to handle 2 things, what your body produces and the toilet paper provided on board. That's it. But someone always thinks, this wipe says flushable. Or worse, flushes makeup pads, tampons, even a plastic fork. Yes, really. The result? A clogged system that affects not just your cabin, but possibly 10 others too. And guess who has to deal with it first? Your cabin steward, armed with gloves and a whole lot of patience. So do everyone a favor. If it's not toilet paper, it goes in the trash. No exceptions. You finish your shower, fold the towel neatly, and hang it back up. You're thinking, this will make their job easier. Except now your steward can't tell if that towel's clean or recently involved in armpit duty. And the tricky part is, if it looks clean, it might end up back in rotation, nicely folded but not exactly fresh. Here's the fix. Use towels go in the tub or on the floor. No folding, no guesswork, no surprises the next morning. Stewards appreciate tidy guests, but they appreciate clean towels even more. You spill a drink, crack a glass, maybe drop sunscreen on a pillow. No big deal, until you try to cover it up like you're in a spy movie. We're talking broken glass shoved under the bed, stained towels wrapped like burritos and tucked behind the curtains. Bad news. Cabin stewards know every hiding spot. They find it all. And when they do, it slows them down and makes their job way harder. So just own it. Tell someone. Accidents happen, but turning it into a scavenger hunt doesn't help anyone. Cruise towels are bright white for a reason. They're meant to be clean, crisp, and reusable, not covered in foundation, bronzer, or streaks of self-tanner. But some guests treat them like giant cotton makeup pads. Next thing you know, the towel looks like it lost a fight with a lipstick display. Those stains don't wash out, and now your steward has to explain to laundry why this towel looks like it came from a beauty crime scene. If you need to wipe your face, bring your own dark towel or use disposable wipes. It's a small thing that makes a big difference. Picture this. You're on the balcony, sunset in the background, pina colada in hand. It's the dream until your drink tips and spills right over the railing. No big deal? Tell that to the guest 2 decks below, whose swimsuit just got baptized in pineapple and rum. That one spill turns into a knock at your door, an awkward standoff, and a very sticky cleanup. Liquids and balconies don't mix. If you're drinking outside, use a table. Better yet, keep the red wine indoors. Trust me on that one. Everyone loves a good towel animal. You walk in and bam, there's a tiny elephant wearing your sunglasses. Magic. But some guests treat it like a made-to-order service. Can I get a monkey tonight? Do you do turtles? I saw someone got a lobster driving a car. Look, your steward is not a towel artist on commission. They make these after a long day of cleaning 20-plus cabins. So enjoy the surprise. Snap a photo, but don't turn it into a talent show. They're stewards, not contestants on America's Got Towels. Plenty of cruisers suddenly turn into hallway lurkers the moment they leave their cabin. They pace, they peek around corners, they spot the steward and pounce. Is my room next? What time will you be done? Can you clean mine right now? Like in the next 5 minutes? Here's the thing. Cabin stewards follow a schedule, a very tight one. Stopping to answer every hallway ambush throws that schedule off for everyone. It's not a personal butler service. It's a full ship with hundreds of rooms. So unless there's a real issue, give them space and trust that your room is coming. They've got you covered. You've just come back from the pool. You toss your wet towel on the bed. Another one lands on the chair. One more gets draped over the balcony railing, dripping everywhere. Suddenly, your cabin looks like a flooded laundry room. For your steward, this is a nightmare. Wet towels soak into furniture, drip onto the floor, and sometimes even leak onto balconies below. Smarter move. Want a towel replaced? Toss it on the bathroom floor. Want to dry it? Hang it in the shower area. Anywhere else, you're just making a mess that someone else has to clean fast. You finish your orange juice, give the glass a rinse, and think, why not use it again later? I'm saving water, right? Not exactly. On cruise ships, hygiene rules are strict. Once a glass is used, it's supposed to be fully replaced, not rinsed in the sink and reused like it's your college dorm. Some guests even stash used glasses in drawers or use the same one for mouthwash, then whine. Please don't. Your steward isn't judging. They just want to keep things safe and clean. Let them swap out used items properly. That's part of what you're paying for. You see your cabin door slightly open. You figure, they're almost done. I'll just sneak in and drop my bag. But here's the problem. The room's not ready. The bed might be half made. The floor's still wet. And your steward is inside, holding trash bags, mops, or maybe halfway through folding a towel giraffe. You walking in mid-clean throws everything off. They'll have to come back later, redo half the work, and hope you're not napping when they return. If the door's ajar, just give it a few more minutes. Day one on a cruise is already chaotic. Don't make it harder for the crew who's trying to prep everything for you. One of the most common and quietly chaotic things that happens on a cruise, getting locked out of your cabin. And no, it's not always the same story. There are two classic ways to do it, both guaranteed to make your cabin steward sigh quietly and reach for the phone. You step outside for that perfect sunset shot. Drink in one hand, towel slung over your shoulders, ocean breeze in your hair. Then click, the sliding door snaps shut behind you. Congrats, you're locked out. Barefoot, no keycard, and no way back in unless someone's inside. And who has to drop everything, call security, and pretend this isn't the third balcony rescue today? Yep, your cabin steward. Pro tip, never close the balcony door completely unless someone else is inside, unless you want to star in your own solo episode of Locked and Afraid. You head out, maybe to the buffet, maybe just to grab a quick drink. The door swings shut behind you, and that's when it hits you. Your key card? Still sitting on the nightstand. Now your steward has to interrupt whatever they're doing, maybe mid-clean in another cabin or heading off shift, to come let you back in. They'll smile, they'll say no problem. But truthfully, it is a problem, especially if it's the fourth time this hour. Want to avoid it? Do this. If you're cruising with someone, make sure one of you always has a card. If you're alone, look for a nearby steward before trekking to guest services. Just don't make it a daily ritual, because while you're only locked out for a few minutes, your steward's time adds up fast. In the end, it comes down to this. Check for your key, leave the balcony door cracked. It only takes a second, but saves everyone a lot of hassle, especially the person trying to keep your cabin spotless and your cruise running smooth. The sink's been draining slow. The light above your bed flickers like a haunted house, and your toilet makes a noise that sounds unholy, but you say nothing for 4 days. Then, just as your steward is racing to flip the cabin for the next guest, you casually mention it. Oh, by the way, the shower floods the whole bathroom. Now it's a fire drill. They've got 20 minutes, no tools, and one shot to fix something that could have been solved 2 days ago. If something's not right, speak up early. The crew wants to help, just not while the next guest is knocking on the door. Your steward says, "Good morning." You walk past like they're invisible. No smile, no nod, not even eye contact. Maybe you're in a rush. Maybe you're just not a talking to strangers type. But for someone who's cleaning your space, refilling your towels, and folding little towel animals with a smile, being ignored stings. These crew members work long hours in tight spaces under constant pressure. A little kindness goes a long way. You don't have to overdo it. A simple thank you, a smile, or learning their name can completely change the tone of your stay. Because when they feel respected, they go the extra mile. Every single time. Something's off. Maybe your bed's still unmade, or your towels are missing, or wait, whose handbag is that on your chair? Your first instinct? March down to guest services and file a complaint. In reality, these things are often straightforward to fix. Sometimes, these are simple mix-ups. Maybe your steward was in the middle of cleaning when another guest accidentally walked into the wrong room and left their bag behind. Now, because no one said anything, the issue gets escalated, making the steward feel like they've been written up for something they didn't even do. A quick check-in with your steward first? 9 times out of 10, they'll fix it immediately, with a smile. Give them the chance to solve the problem before you ring the bell at the front desk. They're often faster, friendlier, and way more efficient than going through a formal complaint chain. If you're still watching this, chances are you're not the kind of passenger who causes chaos with a towel or flushes mystery objects down the toilet. But hey, we all slip up. The good news? Now you know what not to do. Being a 5-star guest isn't about tipping big or being perfect. It's about being aware, thoughtful, respectful of the crew who works around the clock to make your vacation feel effortless. Because when you treat your cabin steward with a little kindness and consideration, they notice. And that's when the magic happens. A cruise is smoother for everyone when both guests and crew feel valued. If this video helped you, hit that like button so more cruisers can see it. Subscribe for more cruise tips, behind-the-scenes secrets, and ways to make every trip your best one yet. And hey, got a funny or cringeworthy story involving your cabin or steward? Drop it in the comments. We read everything, especially the towel animal drama. Until next time, happy cruising, and don't forget to flip the sign on your door.